We are here again on King Spotlight with Monarch football coach Jeff Knarr. Coach, thank you for joining us again this week.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, we're in week 9 of the football season and only 2 regular season games remain. This week, your Monarch squad faces another major challenge with a road trip to Chester to play defending Middle Atlantic Conference champion Widener. But first, let's look back to last week where Kings pulled off a thrilling 28-24 victory over Lycoming College. Kings is leading in the game 21-17, and Lycoming goes on a 15-play, 63-yard drive to score the go-ahead touchdown with just 46 seconds left. At that point, your squad counters with a 63-yard drive of its own on 5 plays and scores the winning touchdown on a 39-yard pass with 9 seconds left. Take us through those last 2 drives of the game and what goes through a coach's mind in that situation.
You know, the last drive, from a defense standpoint, we kind of had settled down from the beginning and we're playing really, really well. And, you know, as you look at the film, this is, you know, for things to build on and continue to improve. You know, there was things during that drive that we felt we could have controlled, took matters in our own hand, and, you know, executed the call, you know, better. You know, could have got some stops and might not have, you know, gave them the touchdown, you know, from that standpoint. So, you know, so you're watching that drive and trying to, again, just to try to tell the kids to try to make a play. You know, we made a pretty good play on the dive, whether he was in or not, it's hard to tell. You know, from there, so our kids battled from that standpoint, and then, you know, told the kick return that, you know, they're going to squib it, you know, be in good position, field the ball cleanly, and do the best we can. You know, if you can field it, you know, let it. If it's hot and heavy, don't, you know, deflect it, because then it's going to waste time and not get yards. And, you know, they didn't hit it as hard as I thought they would. And you know, Devo did a great job of sliding over, fielding it, and put us in decent position. You know, 63 yards away from a touchdown. You know, 40-some yards for a decent field goal, you know, attempt. And then, you know, told the kids we've executed 2-minute drill every week. You know, what we need to do to move down, how many timeouts we had, where we were with field position, stuff like that. You know, didn't start out well with the sack and everything, but then our kids, you know, stayed calm and executed and hit, you know, a big 3rd down pass to get it a manageable 4th down, a big 4th down conversion, and then, you know, obviously finding you know Burke in the middle there for that the play at the end was huge. So I mean, we just kind of, you know, always teach our kids to play till 60 minutes. The score means nothing until, you know, there's double zeros on the scoreboard from there, and our kids are buying into that and I'm believing in that, and you know, it showed on Saturday.
There were a lot of positives to take away from the win against Lycoming. Aside from having a big comeback victory, the team was successful because you received a number of significant contributions from different players. You had great balance on offense, solid defensive play, and good special teams play. Clearly, the success you've enjoyed in recent weeks is due to the all-around team effort.
Absolutely. I mean, again, like we talk about, all 3 phases that rely on each other, you know, from that deal. And then going to this game, you know, from a kick game standpoint, you know, we showed, you know, the difference last year, you know, that Lycoming, you know, had a huge advantage in where they started, you know, in starting field position of drives. You know, and then on Saturday, we had a huge advantage. The second half, you know, our average field position, I think, was like our 47, and it was, Lycoming was there like 18, you know, difference of 30 yards. You know, that's huge from that standpoint. So that's, you know, great, you know, tribute to the kick game, our punter, you know, and the guys there down in the ball from there. Our kickoff team did a good job of covering kicks from there. And offensively, again, just, you know, spreading the ball. What we need to do, we kind of figured it wasn't going to be a 20-carry day for Kyle, but we needed to get 20 touches, you know, and he, you know, or more. And he had 14 carries, and, you know, and ran the ball for a pretty respectable yards per carry average. But then he had 6 catches from there, and almost, you know, so a total of 90 yards on 20 touches. That's a good day that way. And then we were able to spread different guys in the receivers, you know, around from there. So it was, you know, good to see. And then defensively, yeah, different guys are stepping up, making plays, and then just, you know, playing at a high level. And it's, you know, good to see.
Let's talk briefly about a couple of individuals on the team and their play in recent games. Junior quarterback Tyler Hartramp continues to get better and better and enjoyed one of his best games as a Monarch last week. He displayed real pinpoint accuracy against Lycoming, so talk about his continued development. Yeah,
it's really great to see, because in the beginning of the year, you know, the accuracy was something that he needed to work on. And that's the best thing about Tyler, is he's willing to take, you know, constructive criticism, understands where he needs to improve from week to week, and works really hard to do that. And his accuracy has gotten, you know, better and better. And we talked about, again, we need to throw the ball well to win this football game. And he threw the ball really well. We were 20 of 28, you know, as a team from there, you know, and made some big plays and put the ball, in tight spots and on the money and on time. So it's really good to see, someone that work at their craft as hard as he does and then have success on Saturdays.
The next player is junior Justin Burke, who has also emerged in recent weeks and also playing on both sides of the ball. Talk about Justin's role on the team as a two-way player.
Yeah, Burke, he's very athletic. He was at East Stroudsburg, so he understands, Division II football and that mentality, and he comes in here with some size, some stature, strength, speed, to him from there, and was a receiver. And then we had some injuries to the secondary, and then, we felt he was the answer to go over there from his athleticism. As he's learned the fundamentals, he can, hold up with guys and be able to run with people and cover people. And he's done a phenomenal job. He's bought into whatever role we've carved out for him. He's bought in and works really hard and just wants to be on the field and wants to perform in any way he can. And then from a matchup standpoint, Lycoming's very physical in their secondary defensively, and then we felt empty would create some problems for him, but we had to be able to get off of jams and things. And again, with his athleticism and his strength, we thought he'd be the perfect guy, as the number 3. So we were able to bring him back there. He remembered, a lot of the plays. We helped him out with some things and just tagged his route in the play call, so he knew what he was doing. So we were able to capitalize on his athleticism and his willingness to play any role asked of him.
And moving over to the defensive side of the ball, 2 young linebackers have really played well in recent weeks. Freshman Bobby Russell and sophomore James Burke. They've done a nice job in filling in for senior Jake Kesikevich, who's missed the last couple of games with an injury. Talk about those 2 guys.
Yeah, Burke, is James, and he's Justin's younger brother. He's a kid we actually recruited right out of high school and really liked, his athleticism and everything from a linebacker standpoint, and just see him develop. And he's come a long way from his freshman year to now. Been a great guy in the kick game for us, and then gets an opportunity to play, at linebacker, and did a good job, and he works really hard at his craft and, preparing and understanding, film study so he can help him be the best that he can be. So his development has been really good to see, and he's growing just like we thought he would, from a recruiting standpoint. And then, Bobby Russell, he's a kid that, we felt from a recruiting, standpoint, he was one of the top kids we had, a playmaker type, linebacker that can kind of come in and dominate, and, out of the mold of the, Ryan, who we've had, man the middle for us for 4 years. He was kind of cut from that same cloth, and he's just figuring things out and getting his knowledge up, and then his athleticism and size is a varsity caliber, and see him get in and play well and not play like a freshman has been great. And he rose up on Saturday when his name got called and had some huge stops and made plays to keep us in the game, and it's good to see his development week in and week out.
Let's move forward to this week's game. Kings travels to face defending MAC champion Widener, a long-established program with a great tradition. This is another huge game as both teams enter the game in a 3-way tie for second place in the MAC with 5-2 records. So the winner for this game remains in the hunt for a shot at the MAC title, while the loser is essentially eliminated. Talk about going into this game.
Yeah, we talked to our kids. They've got themselves to the point where, now the 9th week has a lot to meaning behind it. From there, but the preparation, everything is, stays the same, and we go down and control we can control, which is to try to be 1-0, this week and beat a really good Widener team, and then take care of what we could take care of. And then obviously, we can't control what happens to Leval, but if we win, then we're doing everything we can to continue to be in the hunt for an MAC title from there. And then how to be in the hunt is to continue just to do what we've been doing, and then go down there and play as hard as we can and as well as we can for 60 minutes.
Widener's offense ranks first in the MAC in total yards with 422 yards per game. And they have a freshman quarterback running the show, Seth Klein, who has completed 78% of his passes. Talk about Klein and what he brings to the table for Widener.
Well, one, he's coming from a very good high school program. Wilson Westlawn is one of the better teams in the state from there. So he's kind of well coached from a quarterback standpoint. And then he's got Anthony Davis, one of the best athlete probably in the conference. To throw the ball to, plus other good key guys in there. But he's as a freshman, he catches it. He handles the their up tempo. They're an Oregon type tempo team, and he's shown great maturity in grasping that offense of keeping that tempo going and catching the ball and knowing who to get it to and get it to them accurately and quickly.
Widener does have a tremendous core of receivers, as 4 players have caught more than 24 passes this year. But as you mentioned, Anthony Davis is the man. What makes him such a dangerous player to defend?
He's got speed, and then he's got vision, and then wiggle. I mean, he can make people miss and stop on a dime, and he's a classic plays tag in a closet, and he's never it. So he can just make people miss on his own. So then they work really hard to block for him. Their receivers block really, really well. But he's a guy that you just have to be in the area, and he's gonna be able to utilize you and make a cut to gain additional yards. So when you have a guy like that, the offense, they work really hard to be able to just create seams and know they don't have to have pinpoint blocks or great blocks, because he's so athletic. He's going to be able to extend the play, and that's what he can do. I mean, he's got flat out great speed, but then just vision and the ability to make people miss is tremendous.
Well, Widener is also a capable running team. Talk about their group of runners.
Yeah, they do a good job with it, and that's the thing that we can't fall asleep on. Some of the other teams, it's about stopping the run and making them pass. I mean, Widener wants to throw the football, but if it all becomes about, all right, let's control and stop their pass game, then they're going to hand the ball off in one of their the reads, in their zone runs to backs that are very capable, backs in this MAC that can be getting a lot more carries for some other run-oriented type teams, and then then they're going to get a big play that way. So they're a throw-first team, but you can't fall asleep on the run. So our interior guys have got to be assignment perfect in there and control the running game, because again they have very good backs with speed and power that can get the tough yards, and then you give them a seam and they're going to hit it, and then a play that's not high on their chart becomes a huge big play for them, and we can't allow that stuff to happen.
Defensively, Widener is allowing 355 yards per game, including 228 passing yards and 127 rushing yards. Talk about the Widener defense and the strengths that they bring to the field each week.
I mean, they have a good D-line, big and strong. Their safety, number one, is very active. Their linebackers are very aggressive and fly to the football. So they're a team, again, they're really stout against the run, and run hard there to stop it and control the run, and don't want to force us to throw the football, and then play a multitude of coverages and different zones, and half zone and half man, and try to confuse the quarterback from that standpoint. So we kind of continue to try to work to have balance from there, and be able to move the chains, and then be able to take advantage of some opportunities to create big play strikes in there. So similar to the game plan the last couple weeks, where try to be able to make some things happen with the run game, and then be able to throw the ball to win, and then have some big plays in there as well.
Well, Coach, that's all we have again for this week. Thank you for your time, and good luck to you and the Monarchs on Saturday when you travel to Chester to face Widener University at 1 p.m.
Thank you.